Betrayal. A poetic review that introduces a conversation and says, I understand this. I cannot confirm you in what you already are. I am sorry. The author denies my intention. Yet I defended your fortress while you were away. Does your heart still contain a flexible rim in which I may lie down to sleep? It is to no avail I still eat from my pillow while I sleep. In cerebral celebration that my tongue does believe. These are all euphemisms or glossies of self-responsibility that must maintain themselves. When the light strikes, there is nothing so complete that can describe how I must surrender. That is the meaning of talking. The duration of residence of expectation is the difference between the situation and its reversal. Parental leave. If I am not allowed to cleave you in a moment, must I address you then? I am sitting on a chair without intention. Which category of society must appear now before you realize that you can also come to me? Had that preceding silence not interfered so much with my next words, then I would have reserved this moment for improper doubt. Promise. Yet I defended your fortress while you were away. Does your heart still contain a flexible rim in which I may lie down to sleep? It is to know how I still eat from my pillow to sleep. A cerebral celebration that my tongue does not carry. These are all euphemisms or glossies of self-responsibility that must maintain themselves. When the ready gives, there is nothing so complete that can describe how I must surrender. That is the meaning of talking. The duration of residence, so exhibition is the difference between the situation and its reverse. But if our community already existed in silence, why then was there still doubt about my love at first sight? My first intention. What I still wanted to ask you, is it my intermediary who interferes in your being, causing the waves of the wind to intervene from a closed door? That is poetry then. How it is possible that people do not need each other after all? Poetry now forms the interaction between my breath and the air to prevent your next air bubble from taking it away from me. In that sense, your father happened to us, after all, in a premature visionary judgment. Yet I defended your fortress while you were away. Does your heart still contain a flexible rim in which I may lie down to sleep? It is to know avail I still eat from my pillow while I sleep. A cerebral celebration that my tongue does not believe. These are all euphemisms or glossies of self-responsibility that must maintain themselves. When the rating gives, there is nothing so complete that can describe how I must honest too. And in swells you cannot move without swimming, that is true. Thus my throat deprives me of air supply, and I can sit quietly again. In all honesty, clouds are random and buildings are static and exist. For knowledge versus trust, the good community. There is someone up here laughing at us, God. That is how I watched television as a child. But never was it stated that one came from the good community. Gosh, how dark it was when society found no contact with the earth. Then the government discovered that what existed before was darker, and that they had to ban smoke signals. Moral gratitude. It is good that we try to remember. Imagine if music were to remain hidden forever in the sand of the spirit. Why is size a distance? Religion versus his attire. The false invocation of history. As long as we keep evolving alongside our guilt, it is good, isn't it? Humanity! Were it not that initially a description could revoke itself, fix a standardized sentence in the linguistic consciousness of another girl so that she would one day start saying that she knows you. I don't want to pass by you with her, my only woman. That does not align with the aesthetic sense of the procedural embroidery of my thinking. She can point me